Assalamu Alaikum everyone. I hope you are doing really well. Welcome back to my channel, The Mat Corner, and today in this tutorial we are going to be discussing about the skeletal system. So let's begin. So guys, as we already know that the adult human skeleton is composed of 206 bone. So we're going to divide these 206 bone into the two categories or the two division, which are termed as the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. Now, what is the axial skeleton itself? So, axial skeleton include the bones that are forming the main framework of the body. So, these are the bones that are present in the skull, the neck, and the trunk. So, these are making the main framework of the body, and they are included in the axial skeleton. So guys, the axial skeleton is composed of 80 individual bones, and these bones are located in the area of the skull, the area of the neck, and the area of the trunk. So let's just isolate them and count them. So let's just take a look at the skull, which is the topmost structure of the human skeleton. So the skull itself is the part of the axial skeleton, as it is protecting the vital organ, that is the brain. And as I have told you that the main purpose of the axial skeleton is to provide the protection and main framework of the human body. So here the skull is included in the axial skeleton. So there are basically 28 bones that are present in the skull, which are making up the axial skeleton. These include the 8 cranial bone. The cranial bone are present around the brain. Next to it are the 14 facial bones, which are making the face and the facial feature of the human body. And the rest of the 6 are the auditory ossicles, which are present inside the ear and help in the hearing. Now in the neck there is a presence of one hyoid bone, which is a part of the axial skeleton, and on the posterior side there are the 7 cervical vertebrae in the human neck. Now on the posterior side you will find out the vertebral column, which is composed of 26 vertebrae in total. And on the lateral side of the trunk there is a presence of the rib cage that include the 24 bones, and the purpose of this rib cage is to provide the protection to the vital organ, which is the heart and the lungs in the trunk. And in the last there is a sternum bone, which is present on the anterior aspect of the trunk, and it is also the part of the axial skeleton. Now let's just sum all these bones, that is the 28 in the skull, the one hyoid bone which is present in the neck, the 24 bone from the vertebral column, which include the 7 cervical, 12 thoracic, 5 lumbar, 1 sacrum, and 1 coccygeal. And in the last, the rib cage, that include the 24 rib bones and 1 sternum. Now if we sum all these, we will get the number 80. So these 80 bones are making up the axial skeleton of the human body. Now moving toward the second division, which is the appendicular skeleton. So in the appendicular skeleton there are basically 1, 2, 6 bone, and the bones of the appendicular skeleton are present in the shoulder girdle, the pelvic girdle, the upper extremities, and the lower extremities. So let's just discuss about them. Now let's just identify that where these bones are located. So as I told you that the pectoral girdle is making up the appendicular skeleton. So in the pectoral girdle there are two bones, that is the clavicle and the scapula. So these are two bones, one on each side of the body, are making up the pectoral girdle and are the part of the appendicular skeleton. Now moving toward the upper extremities. In the upper extremities, if we take a close look in the one limb, we will find out that there is one humerus in the arm, one radius, one ulna in the forearm, 8 carpal bone in the wrist, 5 metacarpals in the palm, and 14 bone in the phalanges on one side of the hand. So as we have the two extremities, two upper extremities, so let's just multiply this figure, that is 30 over here, into 2, we will get the 60. So 60 bones are present in the upper limb, are the part of the appendicular skeleton. Now moving toward the next part, that is a pelvic girdle. So inside the pelvic girdle you will find out there are two bones, that is a hip bone, also termed as an innominate bone, so or the pelvic bone. So this hip bone is the part of the appendicular skeleton, and they are total two in number, one on each side of the body. These are the part of the appendicular skeleton. And in the last, let's just talk about the lower extremity. So in the lower extremity you will find out again the 30 bone in each lower extremity. So one femur in the thigh, one tibia and fibula in the leg, and one patella at the knee. And then you will find out the 7 tarsal bone in the ankle joint, and then the 5th metatarsals and the 14 phalanges at the toes. Now if you sum up all these you will get the number 30. So the 30 bones are present in the one leg and 30 bones are present on the other leg, so they are also making up the number 60. 60 bone of the appendicular skeleton are present in the upper limb, 60 bone of the appendicular skeleton are present in the lower limb. So if we sum up we will get the number 120, and the rest of the 6 are the bones of the pectoral girdle and the pelvic girdle, which are 4 pectoral girdle bone that include the clavicle and the scapula, and the pelvic girdle bone which include the 2 bones that are the hip bone. So this is how you're gonna count or locate the 126 bone that are the part of the appendicular skeleton of the human body. So guys, this is all about today's lecture. I hope you have learned that what is the appendicular skeleton, what is the axial skeleton, and what are the bones that are the part of these two categories. I hope you have learned it, and if you have any query then feel free to ask in the comment section below. And if you are new to this channel then make sure to like and subscribe to the Mad Corner. See you all, take care, bye bye, Allah Hafiz.